Hello, and welcome to another episode of Skinterviews. My name is George Scandalis, and this guy is
Nathan Strong.
Hey Nathan, what's going on?
Wow, lots is going on tonight.
I miss you, man. I think we got to plan a Toronto-Ottawa trip soon. Like we don't get enough time together.
Yeah, maybe early December you should come to Ottawa.
Well, you know what? Funny you say that. I just booked us Skinterviews on location, so I'm not going to say more because we'll let it release when the time comes. But I will see you soon. How's the family?
Good. How's Ellie?
He's good. How's the wifey?
She's getting close, man.
Yeah, that little baby's cooking well up in there.
It is.
Wow. Well, speaking of doing well and cooking well, Skinterviews has been fully cooked season 2, or sponsored, you could say, by Fullscript. So everybody at Fullscript, we love you because Fullscript is the ultimate platform for those of you that want to do wellness the right way, the personal way. And it's got the industry's most comprehensive catalog of over 300 plus professional quality products, making safe supplements more accessible and affordable, and making personalized treatment plans from the doctor directly to the patient possible. It is a shame that I've only got 25 episodes to keep saying this, but doctors need to be a part of the prescription model towards supplementation. And I don't mean prescription like it's a drug or it's got a DIN. I mean, they need to be able to guide patients on what we should and shouldn't take. We shouldn't have to be guessing. And for those of you smart cookies that are already on Fullscript, you can now order your products wholesale directly from Fullscript to sell them right in your clinic. Right, Nathan?
Right. And it's industry night tonight.
Nathan, you're going way too fast for me. I still got user comments that I haven't brought up. Why are you rushing? Why are you rushing me?
I'm not rushing.
I feel like you're rushing me. When are you getting a haircut?
I know. I was supposed to get one today. It's because my business partner gives me too much work to do during the day that I can't go down to my barber and get my hair cut.
Don't make me pull out the receipts of who gives you too much work. So I rewatched my episode with Giselle, and I gotta let people know, okay, that when I'm not in the studio and the screen is not like this, my hair looks one way. When I'm in the studio and the screen goes up and the lights go up, it looks a completely different other way. And I apologize for the way my hair looked during that episode with Giselle. That's all I got to say. So today it's much more tame. It's a little boring. It's a little bit boy band, a little bit Titanic, a little bit DiCaprio at the Oscars. I don't know, but it's a little more tame. Anyhow, enough with my hair because it's become too much of a subject.
Oh, tell me about it.
All right. Well, user comments. Let's see. I love the episode with Dr. Monica Lee. I had never heard of her before, and I'm loving the fact that I actually caught the episode because I'm in Vancouver and I will now book an appointment to go see her. Very smart of you. She is absolutely wonderful. Another user comment said, buy the Audi A5 Coupe. I'm working on it. That's the car I want. If anybody's got connections, call me. Giselle is absolutely wonderful. I've been following her career since she was at a previous company where I think you were working at as well. Yes, that's true. And she's one of the best educators I have ever met in my life. That was probably sent in by Giselle's mother. But Giselle, if you're watching, you did get a comment, so that's good.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you didn't get one this week. That 3 of you, hunkiness, did not get a user comment. All right. Are we ready to get into tonight's episode?
This girl's got X Factor.
Oh, X Factor and maybe a little bit of Canadian Idol factor and a little bit more of that too.
She's got everything.
She's a wow.
Yeah, she's a little petite human being, but she packs a really big punch.
Does she? She's punched you?
No, but she's got energy to burn, man.
I hope she doesn't punch you because you already had that one tooth go. All right, I'm going to read a little bit from her bio, and I love her bio because it's in first person, so I'm going to read exactly how it's here. It says, I'm a small town girl who loves a big city. Ooh, I feel like a cowboy hat's about to come on.
Yeah, I agree.
From a small French town called Embrun to Ottawa to San Francisco to Calgary and now in Toronto, being career driven has led me to all of these wonderful places. I'm a chemist by trade, master's in organic chemistry, smarty pants. Moved to San Fran, where I now have, check this out, 4 patents on hepatitis C virus.
She's smarter than you.
That. Listen, every single guest we've had on the show has been smarter than me, okay? Except for maybe Kyle Robertson. Nick Clemente sent me an e-transfer for that one. So hold on, because we got to focus on this. This is amazing. 4 patents on hepatitis C virus. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And then and then I decided to pivot my knowledge outside of the lab into sales. I moved to Calgary, where I was no longer making drugs, but selling them. Woo woo! As a pharmaceutical rep. Womp womp. Climbed my way up to manage part of Canada, and then I got a call from Candela to join their organization, where I have never looked back. From a territory manager to country manager, and most recently taking over the Northwest USA. I mean, she's going places, girl.
She is.
I could not be happier to be part of such an amazing team and organization. I'm going to say before we bring her on, so we don't big up Candela too much, because it's all about our girl tonight. But lately, it's all been about Pico and Candela. Have you noticed that?
100%. It is.
It's making waves.
It is the device everyone is talking about. The new handpieces. I think it's the new handpieces.
I love it. Well, in the business portion, remember to ask her about it, because I think this is the 3rd episode we're talking about Pico and Candela. So let's bring the girl that's leading the team to all that success, the small town girl that loves a big city, that made it all the way from Embrun to Skinterviews by Nathan and George. Please welcome Kassandra Lepack. Hey, 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 hey! Look at you!
Wow!
Boom, 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 boom!
I'm giving you a run for your hair.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
My hair's gonna look like that.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Cheers! What are you guys drinking?
I'm having a beer.
I'm having vodka.
Straight.
That's a lie.
It's water. It's water. How are you, babe?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
You guys are fantastic. I'm honored to be on the show. I'm nervous being in your presence.
You should be.
I know I should. Over here.
I feel like this summer we spoke quite a bit, and then all of a sudden both of us got into this like amazing busy groove, and we've kind of just like woo.
I know.
Like it's like we're going in circles trying to meet each other. So I'm happy we get a whole hour of you to ourselves.
I'm excited. And count me in on that Ottawa trip too. It'd be nice to go back home.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, well, when we're off camera, I'll give you the details of when we're going, and you can come play with us.
Fabulous.
All right, are you ready to do this?
I don't know. Am I ready, guys? What am I
You're born ready.
Yeah.
Do you want another sip of your drink before we start?
I need that. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. Why are you drinking, Nathan? Are you nervous too?
You know what? Kass rang me today and she said, if I'm going to have a drink, will you have one with me? So I said, yes. I'm a man of my word.
So that's how you guys are. You're calling each other. No one's calling me.
Honey, you're just too big for us. You're just always busy.
Yeah.
I understand.
Hey, the lead singer doesn't have time for his guests.
Well, listen, on today's episode, if we're going to go there, I'm not the lead singer.
That is true, but we need to save that for a bit later.
I heard my girl can sing, and listen, I'm doing backup tonight. I'm the Kelly. You're the Michelle for sure. Nathan, 100% Michelle. But beyond tonight is Miss Lepack here. Am I saying your last name right, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So since I'm getting half of your name right, let's go right back to the day you were born. And you enter into this world, you take your first breath, and your parents decide to name you Kassandra.
Mm-hmm.
And was it always Kassandra? Is there a middle name? And did your name have any meaning?
Good questions. So my parents, when they had me, they thought they were only going to have one child. So my name is Kassandra Terry Lepack. And the reason why it's Terry is my dad is actually named Terry, and my mom is actually named Sandra. So they thought they would like one child, so they made me Kassandra Terry Lepack, and Kassandra with a K. So I always tell my clients and my friends I'm special because I have a K, and everyone else is a C. So I'm very special.
But then another child came along and you weren't so special, or what happened here?
Then my brother came along and they named him Ken. So it didn't help too much because my brother doesn't look like me. So every time we went out, as we got older, you know, with my big hair, my big nails, Barbie and Ken. I was like, no, my younger brother.
Oh, wow. That's so good.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh.
And you were born in, am I saying it right, Embrun?
Yes, so I actually laughed because J Love, who was on your episode, I think he was in season 1.
Yeah.
He actually talked about his first kiss was with a girl in Embrun.
You?
I wasn't me. Wasn't me. Sorry, J Love. No, but it was from the same town. So Alvar is a small little town in between Ottawa and Montreal.
Do you know who his first kiss was with?
He didn't mention the name.
She probably does, though. It's only a small town.
I know. I for sure know who it is.
Did you guys know each other growing up?
No, not at all. Well, he was born in Gatineau. So
yeah, he's Gatineau, so he's just down the road.
Yeah, but I'm sure you could see him from over there. Like
that's
when
true. He's so tall. You can see him. I can see him from Ottawa when he's in Montreal. Yeah,
I can see him from my window. Okay, so two of you growing up, who was mom and dad's favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say, I don't know if I could pick between the both of us because it's nice that they had a boy and a girl. I would say I'm mom's best friend and daddy's little girl.
Oh, it's cute. And as adults, has that changed at all, or is one kind of a little more liked right now?
No, I think that we're both equally loved. I think like I probably speak to my parents more, but now my brother just had a baby, so I can't compete, obviously.
So, congratulations!
Yeah, congratulations. I've got some photos here, Kass.
Yes.
Talk us through these.
So on the left-hand side, you know, that statement rings true. I'm as lucky as can be. The best parents in the world belong to me. I truly am. Like I said, I call my mom probably 6 times a day. My dad and I'll be driving, and I still call him Daddy. I'm still Daddy's little girl. And as I'm driving, if something's wrong with my car, if I'm about to run out of gas, I don't even know where the gas station is. And I'll call him. I'll be in, you know, Toronto. He'll be in Ottawa. And I'll call him. I'll say, Daddy, do I have enough gas to get to the next station? He's like, Kass, I don't even know where you are. I was like, I know, but you should know these things. So, and then my mom is my best friend. Like I said, I've called her like probably 6 times alone today. And then in the middle, although it says new to the crew, so my brother is actually, he manages 73 oil rigs down in Texas.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know where Saturday Night Lights was filmed.
Yeah.
Okay, he lives there.
Wow.
So he's in Midland, yeah. So he is down there, and that's why this was prior to Charlie, my niece, being born. So Charlie Rose Dolly Lepack, and she was born just 2 months ago now. So I'm very excited, was able to fly down to Texas and go see them. And then on the right-hand side is my brother Ken and his wife, my sister-in-law, Jenny.
That's amazing. Your mom looks like she could be your sister.
Yeah.
We get that. Especially when her hair was like that. I was like, we got that all the time.
Is that all that peak away?
Exactly.
Are they still in Embrun, your parents?
No, so they actually live in Otter Lake, Quebec, which is about probably like an hour and 15 minutes from Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah, so they live on the water and, you know, semi-retired.
Is that like close? Is that like close to Tremblant or?
No, other direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as kids, when you and your brother were growing up, what can you remember that you used to do to bring the whole family together in the weekends?
Oh, it's so funny because you know, people judge all the time. They judge a book by its cover. We actually grew up every single summer at the cottage. So I was dirt biking, I was sea-dooing, I was jet skiing. We built teepees in the forest. So we would spend all of our summers at the cottage. As soon as school would end, we'd head out there, and then we'd spend an entire summer and then come back right before school. So, you know, that really brought us close. We're a very, very close family. Like I said, we FaceTime all the time. We have group chats. We probably message minimum 10 times a day in the group chat. So we're really, really close. Family's important.
Cool. And so did you grow up speaking French in the household?
Oui, francophone. So French is actually my mother tongue.
Yeah.
And then, I did all my undergrad, my university, everything in French. And then as I did my master's, that kind of transitioned to English, and then I did everything else. So, but my parents are bilingual.
So was English spoken as well, or was it just always French?
English was spoken at home, and then at school it was French.
Okay.
I'm going to interrupt for a quick second. I'm getting a little bit of feedback from your speakers, Kass. Could you turn the volume just a bit down? Every time Nathan talks with that deep voice and accent, it's like echoing right through the system. So I want to make sure that we can hear you right.
Is that better?
I don't know, Nathan. Give me a little one-liner there.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, that's much
better.
That's much better. Usually we just mute Nathan, but we'll leave.
I like his voice. I've seen him perform live.
Yes, yeah, but that's air guitar and lip syncing.
No judgment. I was there for the show.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about birthdays growing up. Is there one in particular that you remember for being special, or maybe not so special?
Ooh, that's a good question. I always go all out for my birthdays. So even in quarantine, so it was my big 35. And unfortunately, we're in quarantine, there's nothing we could do. And we were in the middle of everything. So I actually went on Amazon, bought all these decorations. I had a huge online party with 35 balloons. I had flowers everywhere. Everybody from Ottawa, from Calgary, from Vancouver, were all online. We probably had about 20 people. And we did drinking games. We did a whole thing. So for me, birthdays are like a birthday week. I don't think it's a birthday. It's a birthday. So, yeah.
I love that. So tell us, you're obviously very close with your parents, as you said before. So what do you think was the most important lesson your parents taught you and your brother when you were growing up?
I think it would probably be to value yourself, have confidence in yourself. I think that I always, and I speak for my brother as well. My brother's a little bit more independent than I. I think it was always, what are the people thinking? If I do this, what are they going to say? What are they going to judge? What are they going to critique? And I think, my mom really taught me, like, Kassandra, you are enough. Even as a kid, I'd clean my room. Mom, is it clean enough? Ever since I was a child, I've always been that way. So I think that, throughout the years and her telling me this, now it's like, okay, people can think what they want. I am who I am, and we are who we are. And you just got to accept yourself and, make decisions and move on.
Awesome.
Right. That's good advice. Talk to me about your very first best friend. Are you guys still best friends today? Do you know where they are?
So we're actually, I have a couple best friends. Now my best friend right now, I met her through later in life. She's in Calgary. But when I was 4 years old, I remember going over to one of my girlfriends. Her name's Karim. And we went over to her house, and we were kids. And we got these, when you go to church, I don't know what the word is in English, but when you go to communion.
Oh, the bread and the wine?
Yeah, exactly. The bread. So basically it's asti in French. And she used to have those as treats. So we used to eat those all the time. So I remember that one of our first moments, sharing one of those with her. And to this day, we are still friends. She went to India for 2 years for work, just got back this past July. So we are a group probably of 10 girlfriends that we've been friends since we were 4. Some people came in at grade 6. Wow. Some people came in at grade 9. And we've all been friends to this day. So every time I go back to Ottawa, that's always who I go see, which is very rare.
I love it.
Yeah.
Being all Barbie, with all the hair, with that $1 million smile. Did that make you a popular girl in high school, or were you like a geek that had this massive glow up later on in life?
Kind of a nerd, not gonna lie. So as you know, I'm a chemist, so I kind of stuck to the sciences, wanted to get straight A's. Partied a little, not gonna lie. High school was fun. I didn't shy away from partying in the bar scene. But no, I don't think I would consider myself as one of the popular girls.
No. And if I were to ask you to share a really embarrassing story with us on Skinterviews that probably no one in our work industry would know, what would you share with me?
What can I say?
Don't worry, it's all been said before.
I reckon
you'd have a good one.
I reckon you'd have a list of these, Kass, surely.
Man, I don't know if it's a good one or not, but I remember, so I came into the lab. It was during my undergraduate or my master's, I can't remember. So it was at Ottawa U, and I used to go into the lab really early in the morning. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to start early. I'm going to get all this work done. So I remember going into the lab probably like 4:30 or 5 in the morning. I was the only one there, turn on all the lights, get my Bunsen burner going, and I start this reaction. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting in my office and the fume hood is down. All of a sudden, I hear boom. And I'm like, oh my God. I run over to my fume hood. Everything's on fire. It's 5 in the morning. I didn't know what to do. And you have solutions that are still, burning. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't throw water on it. What if it gets worse? Everything's on fire. So then I call the fire department at the university. All these firefighters show up. My professor finally shows up and he's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I just got on fire. So then by the time the firefighters get there, there's no more fire because it was like it blew up initially, then went down. So then when they got there, there was nothing there. So I cost the university, I think it was something like $10,000 or something.
What?
Just to show up. And my professor's like, I'm going to have to charge you for this. I'm like, I promise I'll do a great, great thesis. Oh my God. And I promised all the firefighters, I'm like, I will buy you breakfast. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
Around the department. So talk about a blonde moment.
Wow.
Well, talking about teachers, since you brought one up, is there a teacher throughout, whether it was elementary school or high school or university or your master's, that really stood out to you for either a positive reason or even a negative reason?
Yeah. I think it would probably be my professor throughout my graduate studies. So Dr. Louis Barriot. He's at the University of Ottawa, and I love biology. I love sciences, love biology, but I really feel like your professors shape your future. Right. And although I love biology more than chemistry, I just didn't like the biology professors. So I actually went into chemistry and then followed him, joined his lab, and then just the work we did, just the group we had. He really pushed you to be the best version of you. Was it stressful? Yes. But it probably made me the person that I am today and so much stronger than I ever thought I could be. And that's because of him. So, to this day, I super respect him. And I know he's doing great research.
That's awesome. Did we say his name?
Dr. Louis Barriot.
And is he still at Ottawa U?
I believe so, yeah. He still has a lab and everything, so.
Awesome.
I hope he watches this and hears that, because I think those things are they're gratifying for somebody to hear.
100%. Kass, I've got some photos I'm going to bring up. Let's talk about these photos.
Oh my goodness, we're going back now, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We did some digging.
So love to sing. You guys alluded to that earlier. So George, I didn't know you sang. We're gonna have to do a duet.
I don't.
I think you should. I think you should do a duet. I'll do the backing vocals with my microphone off.
You can do the air guitar, Nathan.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't sing.
What's that?
I don't sing.
Oh, I thought you did. That's what Nathan was telling me.
Oh, he sings.
See, don't be shy on me now, George.
Let's talk about these beautiful pictures and that teasing.
So, I'm obviously close to Ottawa, so I'm an Ottawa Senators fan. I'm a huge sports fan. So outside of the Ottawa Senators, I'm a huge Niners fan. I actually lived in Candlestick Park for a couple of years when I moved to San Francisco. And now that I live in Toronto, obviously Blue Jays fan. So I do a lot of sporting events. And then on the bottom left, every year we do the, not the Ironman, but the Tough Mudder. Yeah. So I think I'm on my third one, which is too bad. Obviously this year it's not going to occur, but this is my partner. I do it with him every single year. He's from just outside of Embrun, and he pushes me all the time. He's so much better than I. He'll pretty much drag me across the finish line.
Is that at the Rideau Carlton Raceway?
Which one?
The
no.
Tough Mudder.
So that's actually at the Las Vegas Raceway. So when I was a top performing rep, I think I won top performing rep in North America. Wow. We were able to, they took all the top performing reps and we were able to go to Las Vegas, and we actually were able to race whatever car we wanted around the racetrack.
Wow.
Honestly, guys, if there's one thing that I could tell everybody to do, is this experience. When you're in that car and you feel the engine underneath your hands, and everyone else is on the course, and you get to pass your president of the company. You wrapped him, and I did that. It's the most exhilarating feeling I've ever felt. And honestly, that experience alone changed how confident I am. I know that sounds crazy just from driving a car, but the amount of adrenaline that's running through your veins and just the power that's behind that vehicle, I just feel so much more confident in my daily life. It's crazy. I would highly recommend that experience to anybody.
You know what? I've got a buddy who does a lot of skydiving, and he says the same thing. He believes in it so much. He thinks that if anyone's struggling with like mental health or anxiety, they should go skydiving. They should be prescribed it because he said it gives people a new lease in life when they do it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I haven't done that, but I can only imagine the release, like you said. It's so exhilarating.
So let's talk about your pipes, because
What?
pipes.
What?
No, singing pipes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we talking about? I'm like, I don't know about that.
No, like singing.
Wow.
No, pipes. You've never heard that? She's got pipes? She can sing?
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
Let's talk about them pipes.
let's talk about the pipes, Kass, because
Okay, let's clarify. Okay, perfect. Vocals. Okay.
vocals. Let's talk about vocals, because
On that note,
we've got it on good authority that you auditioned for, was it American Idol or Canadian Idol?
Canadian Idol. So this is a long time ago, guys. Okay, so I was 16. It was when it first came out. Went to audition, and what people don't know about Canadian Idol is when you have to wait. Well, in the past, you had to wait in line. My best friend that I was telling you about, Karine, she actually waited in line with one of my other girlfriends, and because I wanted to get some rest and rest my vocals before I actually auditioned. So they waited in line for me. They made me a shirt, which I still have to this day. Unfortunately, I don't have it here, but it says Canadian Idol. I think it was 2004 or something. Everybody in line signed it. And so the next day I got back in line. They're sweethearts. Thank you for doing that. And once you get back in line, you get your number and everything. There's actually 3 auditions before you get to the live judges.
Wow.
So yeah, so prior to that, so I was 16. I did the first audition, made it past that, made it to past the second audition. When I got to the third one, they said, you got the look, you got the style, you're just a little bit too immature right now, so vocally. So they said, come back next year. So I came back when I was 17, did the same thing, waited in line, all that, got past the first audition, got past the second audition, got to the third audition, and I actually had to sing alongside. There was another guy that was auditioning, and in the end, they're like, for show purposes, we need a male. And then I was like, you know what? This is rigged. I'm not doing this anymore. So that was the last of that.
So how do the terrible singers get through those 3 auditions?
That's what I don't understand. I'm not saying that I'm God's gift to, anything, but I don't know how that occurs.
So they obviously just go, you're really bad. You're going to be good for TV. We're going to bring you back for 3 more auditions so we can embarrass you on national television.
Exactly. I was like, well, you can embarrass me. I want to be on TV. Thanks, guys, for bringing me on.
So, are you going to sing for us?
What's that?
Are you going to sing for us today?
Oh, goodness, guys. I'm shy.
I heard you've got a bit of Alanis up your sleeve.
Oh, could I play some music in the background at least?
Hey, this is your show. It's your show. You. Yeah, it's all about you tonight.
So there's no viewers, right? Nobody watches this.
No one watches this.
No.
Perfect.
No. 80,000.
Hey, but just when you get signed after this, we're going to have to sign a contract that we get a percentage.
Vice versa. Skinterviews is going global, guys. So I should have your autograph and you guys should have mine. So, okay? We're here. We're going to be millionaires together.
That's a good deal.
All right. Let's hear it. What are you going to sing for us? Come on.
I'm going to sing Alanis Morrissette, You Oughta Know.
Ooh, I love that.
Okay.
I love it.
Small.
She's a good Ottawa girl as well. She grew up just out of Ottawa.
Exactly. Canadian girl.
Yeah.
And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to remind me of the cross God bear that you did to me. You Oughta Know.
Wow!
All right.
Nathan, I like the rocking.
Wow!
I think we need to do a duet battle of Dr. Julia Carroll,
Yes,
Kassandra Lepack.
Love it.
that would be awesome.
Yes.
You know what?
Amazing. I know.
We need to do a live Skinterviews on location live at Dr. Julia Carroll's office, and you two should do a set.
That'd be amazing.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
I'll take the back out, Julie.
I love it.
How
How
good was
get Anna Guanche to do the rap?
Yes. Anna Guanche can do the rap in the chorus.
Done.
We can create a Skinterviews band. How good was that Jagged Little Pill album, by the way?
Oh,
Like,
so good.
that's
Honestly,
still-
every single song.
that's still got to be in, I think, the top 5 albums of my lifetime, in my opinion.
Agreed.
George?
It was a phenomenal album. If you ever ask me, though, what my all-time favorite, most complete album is, I'm a little old school and a little more soul, but I think Lauryn Hill's first album that she released, every single song on that was like just so progressive and still progressive to today. There's my dog going nuts. He's like, I love Lauryn Hill.
Stop singing, Kassandra. Stop singing.
Come here. Honey, come here.
I love it. So, Kass, tell us what's the one place you want to go to when this lockdown or sort of the quarantine or COVID, whatever we're calling it right now, because we're in the end of November and we're still kind of in I'd call it like a limbo lockdown, right? We're kind of never getting out of it. Where do you want to go?
I'm fortunate. I took my first business trip actually I just got back on Saturday, so I was gone for 2 weeks. I hadn't traveled since March. And obviously, like most people, I used to travel over 100 flights a year. So, it's pretty bad. I was telling Nathan earlier, it's pretty bad when you show up at the airport and the valet guy's like, "Oh, Miss Lepack, you're back." Or the flight attendants, "Didn't I see you last week?" I'm like, "Yes, that's me." But no, so I actually went out west, which was really nice. Honestly, just getting back on a plane and, that sense of normalcy was actually phenomenal. But I think, trip-wise, to kind of take a break, I definitely on my bucket list is Italy. Never been to Italy.
You've never been?
Never been. No. So the only place overseas I've been, I guess, is Dubai and Bora Bora.
Yeah, I think you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Bora Bora is on my bucket list, but one of my most favorite cities in the whole world is Rome. You have to go to Rome.
Agree.
Exactly. I definitely want to go. And I highly recommend Bora Bora. Honestly, George, it's beautiful.
I would love to go. Can I ask you a question? Just totally a little bit off topic here, but I recently had to take a flight. I was doing, I do some acting on the side, and I was filming a short film out in Edmonton. And this is me complaining and bitching about COVID. But in the airport, they're all freaking out. They're making you stand 6 feet apart. They're being really diligent, temperature checks, hand washing, blah, 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 blah. When I got on the plane through the gate, they were making us stand 6 feet apart. And I got on the plane and every single seat on that airplane was booked.
Yeah.
So can somebody explain to me, was it the case on your flight or was it just mine?
So my flight to Calgary, to Calgary was packed. My flight from Calgary to Edmonton, there was only 6 people on the flight, which was fantastic. My flight from Calgary to Vancouver, all the middle seats were not taken, which was great. And then my flight back, I actually got an upgraded, which was nice. So that way I couldn't really tell if there was a lot of people or not. Crazy.
I had to upgrade my flight on the way back. And still, every single seat on that airplane was booked. And I don't understand. You're closing restaurants and you're putting how many people. Listen, I'm a big boy. There were 2 big guys next to me in the middle seat.
But did you see the recent study that came out? So they say that the chances of transmission on a flight is extremely low. So they're saying with the HEPA filters, they're doing about 30 to 40 filters throughout the hour outside the plane. So the chance of transmission is fairly low. So I actually got tested though when I came back. I took the red eye Friday night. Saturday went straight to get tested. Got my results back on Wednesday, negative, thankfully. So you can still do business. And I say this to my peers in the industry: you can still do business, but be cautious about it, right? We wore masks everywhere we went. We washed our hands. Even with my reps. I had my mask on the entire time, even in the car, just for precaution. So I feel that, business still needs to go on. Clients still need to see you. Patients still need to see people. So I just feel like as long as you're being safe about it, we can still conduct some sort of business.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes they're just making rules for the sake of making rules, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I felt like after that flight. It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned about small businesses and restaurants. I'm scared shitless of getting COVID. So I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, it's a big conspiracy and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not an anti-masker. I'm very careful. I wear my mask everywhere. I wash my hands to the point that they're cracking and bleeding. But I can't understand why you would shut down a restaurant that could only do maybe 25 or 30% capacity, at least so they can break even and not shut down. But you're booking a plane, every single seat booked. Makes no sense to me. Anyhow, that was my rant.
Get into politics, George.
Huh?
Get into politics, George.
I don't have time for the interview. I would.
My camera's getting out. Sorry.
Tell me your favorite movie, Kass. I want to know what you're into.
I think it's a favorite for a lot of people. Dirty Dancing.
Oh, no one puts baby in the corner.
Exactly.
No one does.
What a classic.
Oh,
And
good.
is there a TV show that you're kind of obsessed with right now that we should know about?
You got The Big Bang Theory. I watched every single episode. My mom always tells me, it's you and your friends, Kass. But I was a chemist, so it's not really me and my friends.
Yeah.
And if I were to make a movie about the story of your life today, up to today, what actress would you choose to play your part?
I don't know if she's not an actress, but one of my idols, Carrie Underwood.
Oh, well, that's because you look like her.
You look like her a lot.
I would pick her hands down.
She looks like you, babe.
Yes.
George. Oh, honey, I knew I loved you.
I just don't know how you're going to take the wheel with those nails because those things are long, boo. You're giving Cardi B a run for her money with those things. Like, where are you going?
They're not that. I think they're longer on camera. They're not that.
Everything's longer on camera.
Well, don't make me. And which actor would you choose to play your co-star?
Oh, this is a good question.
Ooh. Probably Matthew McConaughey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. He's good.
Cooper. Yeah.
Yep. I like it, and I'm liking it a lot.
So we should talk a little bit of work, shouldn't we? Should we get into the business? Come on, we'll do it. I know I have to be the party pooper, but let's get to the business section a little bit, Kass. So like this is a question I ask all guests and we get some phenomenal answers, and it's really the reason why we started Skinterviews. What makes our industry so great?
Like I said, I wasn't born into this industry. I think a lot of us were not born into this industry. Being a chemist by trade, for me, and maybe we'll get into this, but having a couple patents now, I always dreamed of doing something grandiose, saving the world or something of that nature. And I just feel that, although a lot of people perceive our industry to be very vain, I would disagree. The things that we're doing, if I speak on medical device side, I just feel like the impact that we're having on mental health, on confidence, on saving lives, like we treat infants at the age of 3 weeks old with our technology, that's without any numbing or anything like that. Like these are life-changing procedures. And, I think that it's glanced over because of the vanity that surrounds, aesthetics and injectables and all of that. So for me, getting into this was really on the patient side is really changing lives and bringing people more confidence and, allowing them to live their lives as anybody else on the street. And I think on the, the client side would be, I just got back from Calgary and it was funny because I'm the same, George, I wear my mask everywhere. And I pulled up to one of my clients' accounts and she was pulling up at the same time. She barely had her mask on, barely turned the car off, runs out, gives me a big hug. And she's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever. And you build these relationships and these friendships that last forever. And, to see them come from working, let's say from working for somebody to then starting their business, let's say out of a hair salon or something like that, now owning their own med spa, having multiple rooms, multiple employees, seeing that is just, it gives me such a sense of, being almost like a proud parent, watching them grow from nothing to what they are now. So, and I see that, province to province. And for me, that's what fuels me. It really is my team and my clients and just seeing the growth that they're doing. And for me, that's kind of what the industry brings. It's just, I love this industry, and I've utilized technology. I utilize skincare. I utilize injectables. I think you got to practice what you preach, So, I don't know. I just feel like as a whole, everyone's so happy in our industry. There's enough pie to go around for everybody. And, that's kind of my motto. So, yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And on the opposite side, what pisses you off about our industry?
I think I spoke about it earlier, the vanity part of it, just people to get to understand what we truly do and why we're selling these devices and stuff like that. But I also think, I forget who it was, I think it was Manny that actually mentioned it on his interviews with you guys. It was the regulations. Yeah. I think that's one thing still in Canada. I see more regulated in the US. I feel like when I started this industry, Joe Blow on the side of the street could say, here's my black Amex, let me buy a peek away. Like, okay. And it's crazy to me. Like these people don't even know how to spell laser and they're buying a laser. So I think now it's getting a little bit more regulated. I think Quebec is the first province to kind of put that in motion. And I know there's talks about it, but just making sure that the technology gets into the right hands, because that could give our entire industry a really bad reputation. So I think if there was a little bit more guidelines, a little bit more structure, I think we'd all be better off, not having any adverse events or anything like that.
Awesome. Now I've got two more questions before I pass you on to George. My first one is, tell us about these patents, because they're impressive. Like there's stuff I'm reading here that is so sciencey, I don't even understand what I'm reading.
So yeah, I did my master's in organic chemistry, and then as soon as I graduated, I moved to San Francisco. I got a job at Theravance. It's a small biopharmaceutical company. A lot of people know Genentech. It was actually across the street, somewhat from there. And we started working on hepatitis C inhibitors. So hepatitis C, as you know, is a liver disease and basically causes failure. So to this day, there's no vaccine for hepatitis C. There's a 95% cure, but it's like a series of treatments. Right. So we were trying to find a drug or create a drug that would actually be, 100% efficacy. And we were a team of probably 7 chemists or research associates. And myself alone, I created probably about 7,500 drugs. And I just want to put in perspective, because people always think pharma, they're all about the money. But, over the course, I think it was there for almost 2 years. And I created 7,500 drugs. So imagine me times 7 creating 7,500 drugs. Out of all of those drugs, guess how many went to clinical trials?
Probably a couple.
4.
Yeah.
So imagine. So only 4 of them went to clinical phase 1. And then that's when we started patenting the drugs. And that's why to date, I think I have 4 patents. From there, out of those 4 drugs, only 1 made it to clinical phase 2. So where it stands right now, you kind of sign your life away to the company. So I got a gold coin and I got patents, which I'm proud of. I kind of went to school for that. So very proud. I think that was one of my goals. And then when I accomplished that, that's when I was like, okay, what's next?
That's awesome. And I've got so many other questions for you about business, but I'm going to ask one more and pass it on to George. So I'm lucky enough in everyday business, I get to talk with your colleagues a lot. And one thing they say about you is you have this brilliant mind in this industry. I want to know what you think is your secret, because they speak so highly about you and they say, like, Kass just has this ability to be brilliant in all situations. So tell us what you think is driving this success in your career.
I appreciate that. So thank you to everybody. That means a lot. Honestly, I'm so humbled by that. I think for me, it's the passion. Honestly, we can't teach that. And, as a manager, I have my team. I don't have any kids. So for me, my reps are my children. And they bitch, they scream, they complain, So I have kids. I love them to death. And I think that's what drives me is, when my one rep calls me and is like, Kass, I can take my child to Disneyland, or Kass, I bought this for Christmas, or we did this, or I just had another baby, I have another baby on the way. Like that's what drives me because I know that they're happy in their lives. But I think I tell every time I interview somebody, if I'm going to hire somebody, I can't teach drive, I can't teach motivation. That's innate. And if you don't have it, you can't be part of my team. I can teach you everything about laser. I can teach you everything about candela. I can teach you these things, but those are qualities that if you don't already have, unfortunately, I won't hire you. And people always think, do I have to have sales experience? I have people that came from marketing. I have people that came from science backgrounds. You know, for me, I really need to see that passion. And, you know, what frustrates me is if a client's not succeeding or somebody's doing poorly, I think that's where, you know, it gets, my fire is, you know, just innates in me to make sure that they're successful because I always want to be number one. I always want to be successful. And I feel like all my clients should want to strive for that success as well. So I feel like with passion comes success, and with success then comes, you know, happiness and all of that. So
Kass, how do you deal with the competitive nature of our business amongst colleagues and peers?
yeah. You know, I feel like there's enough to go around. And I know it is very competitive. You know, there's a lot of players in our industry. I welcome it, you know, because there's a fit for everybody. Not everyone's going to want Candela. Not everyone's going to want one of our competitors. So I feel like there's a place and a fit for everybody. I don't believe in, you know, throwing our competition under the bus. I don't believe in bringing up the competitor's name. You know, the client will do their research. And I feel like it fuels your fire. It makes you an even better rep or an even better manager because you are competing against other people. So what I love most about trade shows, it's not going there to, you know, promote our products. It really is to talk about the other people, to talk to the other people in the industry. Yeah. Don't you find like, that's when we get to connect? Like this is a great platform for us to see each other. But I also love being face to face at a trade show and, you know, seeing Kyle or seeing, you know, JF or seeing, you know, Josh. It's just great to see our peers in the industry, and we're all going through the same thing. You know, we all live the same struggles. We all live, you know, we face the same customers. So it's just nice to have that camaraderie and talk about it and, you know, have a drink at the end of the day and just, you know, let everything off the table, not talk business.
I adore that. Now I get to ask you something where you get to do as much plugging in as you want here. I want to know if I were to be opening, say, a spa tomorrow, a Medi Spa. Okay, I'm a doctor. And I'm opening a Medi Spa tomorrow. And I come up to you and I say, Kass, you got an extensive portfolio at Candela, but I can only take one device. Which is my go-to starter device that can do a multitude of things? I mean, everyone's talking about the Picoway, just because of the technology and what it's doing and all that stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the one you start with. Like, are we doing a Gentlemax Pro? Because I think that's what I would kind of lean.
Oh, good job. Well, how much money you got?
I got my black Amex on the corner. Hold on.
I love it. My ideal client. No, definitely, yeah. I'd say the Gentlemax Pro. You know, people think it's just a hair removal laser. You know, some of our largest franchises in North America own the Gentlemax Pro, but it's a multi-platform. You know, it could do everything from pigmentation to vascular lesions to rosacea to diffuse redness to acne to skin tightening and hair. And, you know, it's good for all skin types. So it's just nice to have one platform that does a multitude of things, especially when you're opening up your practice or your business. You want to make sure you have multiple revenue streams. And I always say this, like I said, my reps sell. You know, I'm the manager. I don't sell anymore. My reps do. But I always tell their clients when they're meeting them, and it's not to deteriorate my reps from a sale, but I always say, crawl before you run, right? You don't want to bite off more than you can chew. You purchase all this equipment, and then you're just flooded, and you know the money is not coming in. So it's just smart to start with one multi-platform and grow your business from there. And you know, it's nice because when doing business with us, we have so many devices. So purchase one, and then from there we can help you grow. And then you'll know what your patients or your clients are asking for. Do they want tattoo? Do they want body contouring? Do they want skin rejuvenation? And then grow from what your clients are actually demanding. That would be my feedback.
I love that. Being in your position, you know, you're pretty high up in the company now. You've got insider knowledge that I'm going to put you on the spot here to share with us, because I want to know what kind of, you know, new or exciting innovations are hitting the market. We recently had a doctor on the show that talked about the Picoway's Fusion and was it Resolve? Fusion Resolve handpiece. But I'm like, I already knew about that, so it ain't so new. I want to know what's not on the market yet. And you don't have to tell me exactly, but I want an idea of what it'll be able to do, if you know of anything.
I do. I love what I do. What can I say?
Or maybe
yeah, it's a tough question. Let's just say 2021 is going to be very exciting.
Okay.
Okay.
I love my job.
Okay, and then saying that, where can somebody find out about Candela? Obviously, you can go to Candela Medical on Facebook. You can look up Kassandra on LinkedIn at Kassandra Lepack. CandelaMedical.com, of course, is their website. And you can always shoot her a private message on Instagram at Kassandra Lepack. She will sing for you if you buy a laser from her team. I know this, right? You will, right?
If it's a peak away, I'll do a full show. You're welcome, team. I'm doing this for the team. I'm taking one for the team.
Oh, I want to do a music video with you where it's like Beyonce's "Crazy in Love," but you're walking in with a Pico handpiece. It's like,
I love
it. You know? And the scene where she's blowing
laser lights.
Yes.
Oh. Down. I love it. Because it's in for the smoke.
Pico lasers are going through the roof tomorrow. Look at that.
So we've got a music video and a concert at Compass Dermatology in Toronto with Julia Carroll.
Oh my God. Okay, we're going big, guys. We're going big.
Yeah.
We've heard the good stuff your staff say about you because honestly, they say amazing things. I want to know if they were to say something negative about you, what do you think it would be?
I don't know the industry. I think my reps would say I'm kind of a pit bull. I'm not a micromanager, but it's funny the way when I'm work Kass or fun Kass, and they've seen both sides, right? So work Kass is very different than play Kass. So I think that they know, like when I don't get angry. I never get angry, but when I do need something and I demand it, they know I mean business. So I think I'm very good at differentiating the two. So you just don't want to see my bad side. So play nice, guys. Play nice.
Everyone's at home right now.
Yeah, I don't want to get
rid of those babies. Those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it, George.
That's it. I'm going to let Nathan take over here because he wants to get into something that's pretty important this time, of especially with everything we're going through here, which is mental health. So, Nathan, all yours, buddy.
Yeah, let's move on to anxiety and mental health, Kass. It's an important topic. I think it's going to become even more important in the next 6 to 12 months as this pandemic becomes even more unknown what we're going to be going through, and the fact that we might be in and out of these limbo lockdowns and the stress it's going to put on family homes, the economy, and what have you. So has anxiety been an issue in your life, or mental health been an issue in your life before, and has it impacted your life in any way?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough that not, me personally. Sadly, we've had a couple, within our company, actually, we've had a couple of losses throughout COVID due to mental health. So it hits near and dear to my heart. It's nothing that we could have prevented. It's just, and that's what people need to understand is that, somebody that you think is completely fine may not be fine. People react in different ways. And I think COVID hits people in different ways. And I realized that with my team, when it first hit, probably through March until June, the way I treated my reps was completely different than I did in the past. You weren't a manager, you were more of a psychologist. Yeah. And we really needed to learn like what was troubling them. Like, I won't name any of my team members, but some of them had a really hard time with this as people around them were sadly getting COVID and passing away, or mental health was an issue for them. So just speaking about what their issues were, touching base, I consider myself to be a good friend. So I would often send flowers just to my loved ones and to my friends and just check in on them, whether it's cookies or like Uber Eats or a coffee, just to make sure that they know that they're loved, that somebody's thinking about them. And I think that regardless if you think they're not doing well or they are doing well, I think those touch-ins are really important. And, in speaking with my close circle of friends, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but, even just on Instagram or text message or phone call, I feel that through COVID, it allowed us a lot more time to be able to do those things.
Right.
I haven't used FaceTime this much in my entire life, and it's just to check in to make sure that people are okay. So I know we can't travel to see our loved ones, but just, just a quick touch in, just whether it's email, phone, or anything, I think is so important. And I think the biggest thing too, with gyms not being open, especially right now in Toronto, they're still closed till December 12th. I just bought a Peloton, George. So I'm on.
You got one?
I did.
Oh, what you off air? You need to give me your username because I'm a Peloton junkie. I love it.
And don't you find a great release? And I found a community of Pelotoners, and we love. And it's just, once again, you can check in, right? You can see how people are doing, and it's just a great form of release. Whether it's just a walk that you're taking by the lakeshore, or by the water, or going to the cottage or something. You just, sometimes when you're in the four walls of your office or your house, it feels like it's closing in. So I just really feel like whether it's touching base with somebody or at least getting outside, getting some air, or doing some form of exercise, that's definitely going to help. So, my thoughts and prayers go out to those that we have lost through COVID, whether it's COVID related or mental health. But I definitely want, to make sure that everybody out there that's listening, please make sure you reach out to your friends, your family, your colleagues, your clients, your patients. I think it's very, very important.
I 100% agree, and we're all in this together. This is one thing that we can all share together. So we've got to come out the other side together. So thank you so much for your advice about that. So last serious question before George takes us into the quickfire questions. 18-year-old Kass meets Kass today. What advice do you give 18-year-old Kass?
I know it sounds cheesy, but you can do it. I think that's it. I always doubt myself. I always have this fear of failure. And, everything I've done so far has led me here. And I honestly have no regrets. I'm so fortunate. I'm so happy. And I love the life that I've built for myself. So I think that, if I was 18 years old, I stressed so much. And it's like, let those stresses go and just know that you're going to be okay, that you can do this. And, you're going to make it.
I love that. Nike, eat your heart out. You can do it. It's way better.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kass, it is time for the quick fire questions. You've made it through the easy parts of the interview. This tends to be the little more difficult part.
Okay.
You are allowed one pass on anything I can ask you.
Okay.
One pass. I want you to
elaborate, or I just one answer.
Answer whatever comes out of your mind.
Okay.
Boom. All right. Here we go. What's your favorite thing in your closet right now?
Oh, my new fedora hat.
What's your guilty food pleasure?
Cinnamon hearts.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk.
Sour candies or cinnamon hearts?
Oh, cinnamon hearts.
Cinnamon hearts or ice cream?
Cinnamon hearts.
Cinnamon hearts or Matthew McConaughey?
Oh.
Cinnamon hearts. An obsession.
Wow. If you could be from any other decade or era, which would it be?
Ooh. The 1900s. The big dresses and the hats.
Okay. We've never gotten that one before. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Your house is on fire. What two things do you run back in to get?
My curling iron and my purse. You guys know me. Come on. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Any tattoos?
Ooh, one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's a little heart.
A little heart.
Is that your wedding finger?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Oh.
Single or taken?
Single.
Whoa!
Whoa.
We're burning up the phone lines tonight.
Can I just say that the last single person that came on the show was J-Love, and from that show he met a very, very nice lady that he's actually still. Yes.
See, you guys are not just Skinterviews, you're matchmakers.
We're matchmakers too. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are interviewing bachelors or bachelorettes, whatever you desire. I'm not going to ask. for Kassandra Lepack.
Yeah.
All right, send me your profile photos, your T4 slips, application.
You're hired, George. You're hired.
All right.
That's all you need.
Your mother's gonna be like, "Where did you meet these people?"
Oh my dad. Daddy's like, he's like, what's going on here?
Do you prefer talking or texting?
Talking.
And if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Invisible.
Ooh, you can either speak every language in the world or communicate directly with animals.
Speak every language in the world.
And you get to... Who would be your ultimate best friend? Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Carrie Underwood or Beyonce?
Oh, Carrie Underwood.
White or whole wheat?
White.
French fries or potato chips?
French fries.
Yoga or Pilates?
Yoga.
Weights or cardio?
What?
Weights or cardio?
Cardio.
You're going to the fashion event of the year. Which designer is dressing you?
Prada.
Dream vacation spot you haven't been to?
Maldives.
Ooh, I'm going with you. A place.
Oh.
You get to have dinner with God and ask one question. What are you asking?
Ooh. You know what? I would ask him, what is the meaning of life?
We had that from Dr. Monica Lee, didn't we?
Oh, no. It's so funny. So she was interviewed before me, and her and I are such good friends. Like, I love Dr. Lee. So I actually saw her while I was in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Okay, you're going to a concert right after COVID. Who are you seeing?
Carrie
Underwood. All right.
Or Luke Bryan Country.
Cinnamon Hearts or Bradley Cooper?
Cinnamon Hearts.
Intimacy or Cinnamon Hearts?
Ooh. You have both? Like, can I sprinkle Cinnamon Hearts over the intimacy?
That's a good answer.
I'm done. I'm just All right. Final question of the night. You're going to that concert to see Carrie Underwood. Who's your ultimate date, Nathan or me?
Oh, can I have one on each arm so I have arm candy?
No, you have to pick.
I'm going to have to go with Nathan because I know,
Yes!
I know him better. And he calls me all the time, George. You never call me.
Yes! Yes! I won one. I finally won one.
I love you, George. I still love you.
Don't feel bad for him. I needed that, Kass. I needed it. Thank you.
Call me more, George.
Thank you.
Call me. I like to talk on the phone.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally won one this season.
And you won one by Kassandra. I mean,
by a country mile as well. She didn't even hesitate.
Cheers, honey.
I just want you to know, wait till you hear him sing. You'll be begging for me, sister.
Hey, she didn't even hesitate.
George.
What was that, baby?
Now you have time to redeem yourself.
No. I'm gonna let you have as much fun as you possibly can with Nathan, because that means I'll probably get 2 hours to myself without him calling me. I am actually not that hurt by this. I am a little bit, but you know, it's good to know that the other device reps chose me.
Listen, now he's going to make you feel bad about it. He's going to grind until you message him privately and say, "Hey, George, I'm really, really sorry. I should have picked you." You know, like.
Yeah. Thanks for that $100, George.
You know what? The best thing about that was she didn't even hesitate.
You know what? I'm gonna let it slide. The good thing is nobody watches Skinterviews. Nobody watches Skinterviews. Oh. I was gonna send you like this big bag of cinnamon hearts and Matthew McConaughey to go with it, but now I'll just keep both to myself.
Nathan, what are you doing?
I'm just texting Matthew now.
You know what, Kass? Even though you don't make the best choices in life, I want to thank you for being here tonight, and I absolutely adore you.
Vice versa, guys. Honestly, I'm so honored to be on your show. I'm so proud of you guys for what you guys have done, have pivoted your businesses and built this amazing platform. I'm honored to be a part of it. Thank you so much for asking me to be here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
so much for being here. And I got to tell you, you know, on a bit of a side note, since you're managing a whole team, your entire team is exceptional. Both the U.S. and Canadian team, they're exceptional. And I have a bit of extra love for the West Coast boys. They know who they are, but they're all wonderful, and you're leading them to great things. And I think we're going to try to get the trainer Tim on the show on Skinterviews. Right now, we've set it live, so he can't escape me forever.
Fantastic! My team adores you. I can't wait to get him on.
He's amazing, and I hope that he picks smarter than you.
I'll give him the lowdown before he goes on.
Well,
I won't even finish the question. He's going to go, Nathan.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. Like, because he's No, I might win him over. I might win Tim over. I'm going to work hard on Tim.
All right.
I'm going to start texting and putting the groundwork in now.
He's going to call me tomorrow. Kass, what is going on? Why is no one on the phone?
So I've got two more questions, Kass. Before you go, we always have to relate it back to the skin because we're called Skinterviews by Nathan and George. What's your current skincare routine?
So I use both Vivier and Zio.
Yep.
So Zio, most of my product line, but Vivier for my under eye cream.
Awesome. And last question before we let you go. Who would you like us to interview next, apart from Tim, obviously?
Who would be good? That's a good question because a lot of people you've already interviewed. You guys are so popular. How about Dr. Kevin Wong?
He could be good. Yeah. He's out in Calgary, isn't he?
You know, he's in Grand Prairie, but they just opened up a brand new practice in Edmonton.
That is true. Yes. We'll get his details off you after this.
Definitely.
Amazing.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah. So, Kass, a big thank you from me. Thank you so much. We've tried to get you on the show. You've been so busy with work. We've finally got you on. It's been so good to have you. We love what you do for us at the Revenue Doctors, the support you offer us personally and professionally, but also what you do in our industry. Like, you are just an unbelievable character that brings so much energy to this industry. And you're one of the reasons why we made this show, because we wanted to highlight people like you. And we wish you all the best in everything you do.
Vice versa, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you both very, very much. Cannot wait for this to air. And thank you once again for having me on the show.
That's awesome. We adore you. Hang tight. We're going to send you backstage while we go to a message from our sponsors, and we're going to be right backstage after we close the show. Say a proper good night to you.
Perfect.
Another episode is wrapping up, and I want to thank you all for tuning in, watching it, listening to it, whether you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify, or you're watching it through the revenuedoctors.com under the Skinterviews tab for Season 2. It means a lot to us that you guys are here. One comment that I didn't actually talk in the beginning of the night, somebody said to me, "Are you this silly in real life?" And here's the thing. I implore whoever sent that comment to me to actually meet me when COVID is over, to find out if I'm this silly in real life. And why do I say that? Even if I am or if I'm not, the fact that it puts a smile on your face with all the difficulties we're going through with COVID is something exceptional for me, something that makes you smile, something that makes you happy. It's really, really important. Kassandra talked about a bunch of topics tonight about loss and how difficult things are for a lot of people during COVID, and we need to reach out to people. We need to reach out and talk to them. One thing that she said that I absolutely love and is more difficult for me to talk about is family. You know, as somebody who's lost both my mom and my dad, just me and my sister are left and the families that we've created. If you still have your parents around, it is such a blessing. And as we get older, you have to remember that they too get older. And getting older sometimes can be pretty lonely for a lot of people. So I love that they speak 6 times a day. I love that they have this chatting that's constant. And many of us get wrapped up in our professional life and in our personal life and our own things that we have going on. And we kind of take for granted those amazing relationships that we create with family. And we kind of lose sight of it and we lose touch of it. And I want you all, after watching the show, to reach out to your loved ones, whether it's your mom, your dad, your chosen mom or dad, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers, your nephews, your nieces, whoever it might be, or the people you choose to have family, and just call them and say, hey, I just want to say I love you. It doesn't have to be more than that. Just remind people that they're loved as often as you can. And as cheesy as it sounds, I love every single one of you that takes the time to watch all these episodes because we put a lot of work into it. And I hope that somewhere through this, you get to meet some wonderful people, get to know the great personalities we've got to meet throughout our entire career. And that at the end of the day, it puts a smile on your face. And I promise to get more silly if I need to get you to do that. Lastly, for any guests coming to the show, please don't pick Nathan. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, whatever it is you're doing. Don't forget to take care of your skin or I'll find out. And you know what that means. I'll kick your butt. Have a good night. Take care.